Good evening, guys. Good evening. I am your commentator, Robert Ionescu, and today I am joined in the capital of Azerbaijan by Joseph Willows. Hello, Joe.
Good evening. Is my mic on? It
Yes,
says
it
I'm not
is. It's
on.
just fine. You don't have to
Uh,
worry.
I'm going to say for some reason it said it wasn't. But anyway, hello again. I was obviously on earlier on for the practice session, but we're here this time for the GP2 qualifying session here at Baku for GP2. I don't know why I said it twice
Yep,
then.
that's right. We've arrived here in a country known as the Land of Fire. Nicholas Zorbak taking the championship lead after winning the opening race of the season. And because now that he's done that, I will mention it anyway. We have a little bit of a change to the performance system. It's not major, but basically, let me tell you, the top 5 in qualifying will get some performance points, with pole position getting 5 performance points and 5th getting 1 performance point. And also, in the top 10 in the race, the winner will get 10 performance points, and it'll go down just like that until 10th place will get 1 performance point. It won't cause much of a difference over the course of the season. It will cause things to change just a little bit, so we don't have exactly equal stats from this moment on. Either way, we're here and we're ready to go.
Yeah, it's a little bit similar to Formula E and BDCC, but a few tweaks basically.
Yep,
So
that's right.
a little bit similar to what they have. So don't expect it to be a massive difference. You'll still get the excitement, I believe.
Yep, that's right. It won't change too much. Just yeah, shouldn't be too much of an issue. Oh yeah, and I just realized how the main straight is actually called, so we'll tell that a little later, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
No
already a
rain.
fun try session, so no
Yeah.
surprises there.
And now we prepare ourselves for the longest loading screen that I think I've ever seen on Grand Prix 4.
Yep, it's
Because
got a
Baku,
hell of a lot of buildings, but that's
yeah,
also
and
positive,
yeah,
negative.
combined with the fact that the track is quite long as well, so it does take a while to load up, but it does load up eventually. So again, don't think the game has crashed. It's just because the track is very long and it takes a while to load.
Yeah, we've seen that happen a few times. Anyway, should be an interesting session, and I wonder who's gonna take pole because last season, not last season, sorry, last race obviously it was Daniel Adventure who prevailed. Meanwhile, in the race, no, it was Lorenzo Tomaselli who prevailed, who took pole position, and last season Daniel Adventure was the one who took a dominant victory.
It was indeed. Obviously, last time out in Bahrain, as you mentioned, Nicholas Zorbak taking the victory. And he's obviously determined more than ever, of course, to try and win this championship after missing out last season because he's desperate to basically make amends after quite a disastrous time in the top class in 2017 as well. It's kind of a bit of a burden for Nicholas. But we've finally got to the end of the loading screen now. We're now in the garages.
Yeah, and also worth mentioning, he fended off a late charge from Ruslan Protsiuk, who finished second on his debut in front of Rahul Patel. Fourth in the championship goes to Lorenzo Tomaselli. Even though he finished fifth in the race, the points for pole propel him in front of Henrik Watzel.
Yeah. Okay. So we're now in the garages as
Yep, that's right.
everybody getting ready to go. And I did
Looks like
know
Kalevich
that.
will
Yeah, I was going to point this out with this team because I think was it you and Rahul who was in commentary last time in Bahrain from memory.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, you kind of got the Rapaxes mixed up a little bit with another team, but
Yeah,
this is a Rapax, by the way.
we still haven't gotten 100% used to the new liveries, but it's no biggie. Anyway, Kalevich will be the first one to go out on track. There he goes.
Yep, Kalovich the first
Racing
out
here
on
at
the
Baku
track.
for the third time. And if you can remember, the first time we raced here in 2015, I believe, Felix Krebs took a surprising pole position. And the race was very dramatic, a battle right down to the finish between Gabriel Gomez and Teraven Alteranon, protagonists of that championship fight, might I add. Last season wasn't that much of a spectacular fight, but then Adventure dominated. I think Brian Zolga, no, it wasn't Zolga was on pole, either way he retired pretty early, and the Premas took second and third.
You may also remember as well from that 2015 race, it was kind of a race of two halves because of a little glitch that happened midway and quite a lengthy.
The unforgettable meme review we had in the middle.
It was indeed, but it did lead to that photo finish between the two title contenders that ended up fighting it that day, Gabriel Gomez and Talavin Alteranon.
Yeah, Gomez won the race, but in the end of it all, it was Alteranon who had the last laugh with that amazing comeback in Brazil to take the championship.
It was indeed a gutsy underdog performance, it must have been said. And just to clarify on who took pole here last season, because you were a bit confused, it was Davy Suarez who took pole position here last season.
The eventual champion.
Yep, the guy who unfortunately hasn't got a seat in any tier, unfortunately, missing out on pretty much every. Well, he didn't miss out on a sign-off.
In GP2 here in Baku.
Yeah, he was. He did sign up for the top class, of course, but of course he missed out on the Renault seat to Jay McKenzie in the end, and has not ended up getting a seat in either DTM, BTCC, even here in GP2 or even in BTCC because he didn't sign up for any of those tiers.
Here goes Kalevic starting his lap and onto the Azadlik Square, the main center of Baku, the main commercial center. Out of turn 1 goes Kalevic. Not too tentative on the exit, but it's not a critical corner. Turn 2 is more important for lap time because it's followed by a long straight, which you need to maximize your exit. And Kalevic, I think he's been better on exit here than in the previous turn. Now he'll be powering onto the straight. Towards turn 3, the first sector is pretty much almost entirely 90-degree corners. Kalevic goes into 3. He avoided the apex there to get as close to the wall without hitting it, but Kalevic didn't want to take too many risks. Now into 4 on the right. Now onto 5, where we had a crash after a flag here last season. Kalevic through the left, now for the right, a slow but important chicane for lap time because it leads you onto this short straight. And here he goes. In towards turn 7, the double right-hander. 49.6 in the first sector. Now he'll be going into the castle section. A slow, really narrow part of the track, which is followed by this left-hander of turn 12, which will now lead into a very quick section. Kalevic goes through the left, and now once again another flat-out left, and we'll go left yet again at the Vettel and Hamilton infamous corner, but he'll be slowing down here. It's not exactly flat. Now then, Kalevic is about to enter turn 16, 123.6 in the second sector. And out of turn 16, that's pretty much all the braking zones covered. It's going to be a flat-out dash to the finish.
Yep, Kalevic is coming around the final 2 corners then, flat out as he goes, and he will complete his time. It will be a benchmark for everybody to beat.
Of course,
pretty sure
before in Formula E, but this is his first time out in GP2. And let's see how he's going to do as he's coming across the line.
Across the line he comes. There's a 151.689. Let's see if anybody else can beat
Which
it.
Which is beaten by Fast Ray immediately by over a second. Very impressive time from the Brit. What about Jake Galloway? Looks like he'll be going third. Ambrosio goes third now. Lorenzo Tomaselli is not going on pole at the moment. He's only down in second. Thomas Bennett now second. Joel Watterson, he goes second, beating his teammate Kalevic by quite a long shot. Adventure goes into third. What about Tomas Anderson behind him? He goes only 5th fastest. Tomas Pascual is up next to cross the line. Looks like he'll be going top 3 or something. No, top 6 only, 6th place. Rahul Patel is up next. He goes 9th only. And Watson next to cross the line goes 11th in front of Dennis Graf. He was gone 10th. Skin's gone 12th in front of Quintino 13th. Dudu Corby goes 4th. Good lap from the Brazilian. John McCarthy is up next. He goes 10th fastest. Kyle Burns, where can he place himself? Only 18th. Lance Wallinger has gone into 10th place. Aaron Curtis 3rd. Nicolas Zorberg, the championship leader, only 5th for him, but still good. Griffith goes 3rd, his teammate. And that's everyone done for the first round. So what did you think of that, Joe?
Yeah, interesting stuff, especially Fashere as well. It looks like he's finally turned a corner, it seems, in terms of pace this weekend, and got quite a decent gap between himself and Watterson at the moment.
Yeah, his Bahrain performance wasn't something to be happy about, but I'm sure he's left that all behind him. That was all in the past, and now he's just going to focus on getting the most he can out this weekend.
That's all of them will be coming back into the pits.
He's already improving on this lap, but it doesn't matter since he'll have to come into the pits.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of the cars will probably be left behind on the next set of runs as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much a given.
Yeah, so far then, the whole pack separated by 1.7 seconds. Just looking at the pack at the moment, Zorbak, the current championship leader, currently in 6th position. Proxyuk, who finished 2nd last time out, only 17th at the moment, so not quite on the pace at the moment.
And Patel is in 15th, so he's also struggling just a little bit.
So far, the top 3 that was at Bahrain last time out, Zorbak appearing to get the measure of those 2 at the moment.
Yeah, for now. But also Henry Watzel, he's doing pretty bad. He's down in 20th at the moment, but there's plenty of time to rectify that. So don't expect these times will be final. Plenty can change, and plenty will change.
Yeah, exactly. As everybody's now getting wheeled back into the garage, and both Dams are now in pit lane. His teammate, of course, being Daniel Adventure, and there is Proxy
Right,
getting wheeled back in as well.
Race winner, and Adventure currently 5th fastest. So if he wants to defend his win, he's not in a very bad position.
No, definitely not. Fashion, I don't think has scored any points so far this season. I could be, excuse me, I could be wrong on that.
He finished all the way down in 12th in Bahrain. So no, 13th. Sorry, and he missed out on the points.
So he looks like he's going to get his first points at the moment, but we've still got 22 minutes to go. People could still knock him off the top at the moment.
Yeah, everyone has 3 runs remaining, and everything can change in those 3 runs. It's a long circuit though, so the people who miss out on a run now, I think for sure will not have the time at the end. The lap is almost 2 minutes, so it'll be tight. It'll just depend on whether the pit crew can do their job or not.
Absolutely. As everybody's now in pit lane, I think Kalevich has just come out because he's just had the pit symbol come off. So I think we've got a car on track.
Yeah, that's right. He's first once again. And Joe, I'd like to ask you, what do you think of this track? Because while we talked about it on the flying lap, while I talked, I didn't get to ask you, so I'm asking you now. What do you think of it?
Well, it is a very popular destination, isn't it, Baku? It's a good street track. I will give it that. I wasn't keen of it, to be honest with you, when it first came onto the F1 calendar in real life back in 2016, because it just seemed like the layout looked a bit simplistic. Yeah, it just felt like to me like somebody just cobbled the track up and just plonked it on some random streets. But so far,
it wasn't that exciting either.
Yeah, but so far it has, yeah, it's now become a fan favourite to F1 because it does have the undulation, especially this bit here, the castle section. Obviously, the most famous part of the track as well, due to how narrow it is. One mistake and it could even red flag a race. We haven't had that in real life F1, apart from in qualifying with Charles Leclerc, and Robert Kubica as well.
And don't even think of trying to overtake at that corner. You can't even fit 2 cars into there. And also, Lewis Hamilton had a crash at the exit of the castle section back in 2016, which caused him to qualify 10th and only finished the race in 5th.
It turned in very early into that corner. Well, we've had a bit of a funny moment at that corner in the OC, of course, with Franco Gamba. Turned into a bit of a meme last season when he had his throttle problem, which caused him to spin into the barrier.
Anyway, Kalevich is about to begin his second flying lap. And Joe, how would you like to commentate through it? Let's go.
Thing. So, obviously there's not any corner names on here, so it should be quite easy. We look from the nose of Kalevich as he makes his way down to turn 1. It's quite an interesting exit this is, because it kind of thins out on the exit. Just a little run before they head into turn 2, where in the top class there was this incredible battle between Jay McKenzie and Florian Volker, using all the curve on the outside, and then it's this long run down towards turn 3. This is also a possible overtaking opportunity, but you've got to be quite lucky as well. You've got to get the overlap correct going into this corner, really, and you've got to make sure it's not you're not tightened in as you go through into turn 3. Another 90-degree corner, approaching the 4th 90-degree corner on the track, turn 4. Just a little run before going into there, before heading towards a little left-hander before approaching the chicane now then, probably the slowest part on the racetrack, it must be said, because you're really slowing it down for that 90-degree right-hander. Coming off the exit as Kalevich approaches the end of turn 1, heading towards the double right-hander now then, which kind of narrows out on the exit as well. Well, only 2 cars can really fit here if you go side by side, but then it narrows up to 1 car when you go up towards the castle section. Very easy to whack it into the wall, especially if you lock up going into there, and you could cause a bit of a pile-up as he just makes his way out of the castle section, heading towards this little one before heading towards the flat-out double left-hander. So flicking it through the first left, this is where Roman Grosjean had his little issues, and then into the second left before heading towards this 90-degree left-hander. Quite a tricky one, in fact, because it's very easy to understeer and hit the barrier onto there.
Because it is purple in Sector 1, can he keep it up in Sector 2? Well, still, yes, he's 1.1 seconds up on his personal best, so this will be very interesting.
Just comes out of that 90-degree left-hander now then before heading towards the flat-out final 2 corners. It's basically a flat-out run towards the longest straight on the calendar. I presume it's quite long. I think it's just about longer than the career straight, the second back straight on career, in fact.
The entire flat-out section is about 2 kilometers, or something like that.
It's near 2 kilometers, which is the maximum they're allowed to have on a straight. But anyway, Kalevich now then, can he get to pole position? Yes, he can, by 900ths of a second.
Very impressive stuff from the young Bosnian. He's improved by 1.2 seconds. He gained so much time in Sector 1, but watch for Patel. He's also up on his personal best. Even though he won't be in for a shot for pole on this run, I think he will still climb a couple of positions.
I think he'll make it into the top 10. I've also just noticed as well that Bennett and Anderson have set
I noticed
identical
the
times.
exact same time as you, and that's interesting. Let's see if Patel can get in there in the top 10, or maybe get in front of those two guys.
If it stays equal, hopefully GP4 remembers the order. So, as Patel goes 13th.
Now Gabriel Quintino is up next, the reigning BTCC champion. He's about to cross the line. He is currently in the green, as we got two cars battling behind him, one of them being Max Killen. He's battling one of the Dams cars. Quintino has improved by a little bit, stays in 19th. Fast Rate didn't improve, and neither did Skillen, but Ruslan Protiuk, it appears he's on an improvement right now. So where can he place himself? Well, 7th, pretty much in front of Zorbak. Thomas Ben next to cross the line, he can't improve, and doesn't look like Lorenzo Tomaselli will either.
No, Tomaselli remains 13th. Anderson goes up to 5th, so he gets out of the equal zone between himself and Bennett.
Yeah, Curtis didn't improve, he stays in 6th. Watterson, he didn't improve either. And it's a very good session for Rapak so far. What about Ben Svallinger next?
No improvement for him at the moment. Galloway's not looking like he's improving even. Nor is Pascal at the moment. Pascal currently in 12th position. Henry Watts is on improvement
though. So let's see how much he can gain, how many positions, and where he'll end up. This is a good lap. No, it's only 20 enough for 20th. He didn't improve on position. But McCarthy does, he goes up into 10th.
Comes Dennis Graf, only 17th that time by. Zorbak's not on the improvement.
Part in today's practice. Cal Burns, 21st only for him. So that's a little bit unfortunate for the American.
And these are the set of runs done with. So at the moment, yeah, 1-3 at the moment for Rapax. Kelovich in first, Watterson in third position. Only 900s though, separating Kelovich and Fashery at the moment.
Yeah, and just to point out, Jamie Griffiths up to stay in the pits on this run. So if he'll have enough time at the end of the session to go for his 4th lap, will remain to be seen.
Yep, we're looking at the rear from Bennett at the moment. Bennett currently in 12th position. Was on equal time with Anderson just a little bit earlier, but Anderson was able to do a better lap to get himself into the top 5. So,
yeah, unfortunately, the Welsh, we couldn't say the same for the Welshman. He's had to stay where he is, and actually lost a few places because of Iris improving. Now looking at Aaron Curtis, who will be coming in, of course.
Yeah, everybody on this set is coming in. I don't think anybody stayed in the pits that time, but I don't remember seeing a pit symbol next to anyone. I don't know if you caught anything, Rob.
I wanted to mention it to you while you were on the lab, but I didn't want to interrupt you too much. I noticed Griffiths had a pit symbol all the time.
Ah, okay. So Griffiths was the one staying behind that time. But Griffiths currently finding himself in, where is he at the moment? 4th position. He's actually not having a bad session so far in the Carlin.
Also, this track for Aaron Curtis, who we were on board with earlier, has some special significance because after heartbreak he had in Bahrain at the start of last season, he came back strong and he got his first ever podium here on the streets of the Land of Fire. Finished 2nd in front of his teammate Ben Svallinger.
I think he's still yet to achieve a victory in GP2 from memory as well. He's come close several times, especially every time he's come pole. He's had pole positions, but for whatever reason, he just always ends up on the end of bad luck and never able to convert it into a win.
Yeah, in Bahrain, everyone knows what happened, and the time he got his 2nd pole in Hungary, well, suffice to say, he got taken out turn 1, lap 1. So yeah.
Yeah, as Griffiths is now coming out on the track. Speaking of which, the guy who stayed in the pits a little earlier.
Yep, Zorbak's teammate in the Carlin currently getting the better of the championship leader.
Yep, Griffiths coming down at the straight now then, as he will head his way towards turn number 3 on the track. So far, there's not that much movement going on in pit lane at the moment, I don't think. I think Griffiths is the only one who's...
Back in Bahrain, he had to settle for a lowly 14th place after incurring some damage early on, and that meant, even though Zorbak won, those were all the points Carlin was going to get.
Yeah, obviously it was disappointing for them indeed, but of course Carlin, as you mentioned, well, I think you mentioned that with Griffiths, didn't you? Because Griffiths ended up finishing 14th, but it was still a good day for them in Bahrain because of Zorbak winning, of course, and obviously at the moment both they lead both.
The fight of only one car per single point.
Yeah, they have the early lead in the championship, but they're obviously going to need to build on that. And the only way they're going to do that is if they're going to get both cars in the top 10. So far in this qualifying session, both of them are at the moment. Griffiths in fourth, and the championship leader Zorbak currently ninth at the moment.
Yep, that's right. And also interesting fact, Trident are still not classified in the team's championship because if you can remember, the two of them had a crash and DNF'd together back in Bahrain at the last corner.
Yep, Dennis Graff in particular probably won't want to remember that one for sure after what happened there at the final
that's
corner.
only no blame in that, but he just collected his teammate and nothing he could do. But anyway, Jamie Griffith has something he could do, which is improve on his lap time. Let's see if he can do it as he starts his lap. Heading into outside the square, turn 1.
He'll now make his way up towards this little incline before going into turn 2, and then it goes a little bit downhill, I think, on this version. I don't know if it's like that. I don't think it's like that in real life, but it is what it is. As Griffiths now makes...
It is indeed. Now Griffiths, into turn 3, it's a very important zone because if you're racing side by side, if your opponent leaves you space or not, it's going to be critical. Because this corner is tighter than it looks. And yeah, if you want to overtake, you're going to have to hope that your rival gives you all the space in the world, because otherwise he can easily squeeze you out and result in a crash. Just ask Esteban Ocon and Kimi Raikkonen about 3 years ago.
Yep, 2018 at the start of the race that was. Yeah, it got a little bit too close to comfort there. I think Kimi should have really backed out, to be honest with you, from that accident, if I'm being totally honest. I hope Yuri isn't watching this, by the way.
When you're watching, when you're going through that corner by yourself, it's not that difficult of a challenge, but when you're going through that corner side by side with another person, it takes on a whole new difficulty, and it can catch you out. That's the gist of it, really.
It was also in that same race as well, where Grosjean had these little...
Yeah, indeed, where Ericsson allegedly hit him. And also where 2 years ago, Daniel Ricciardo had a little bit of a naughty moment with Daniel Kvyat by reversing into the path of him.
Yeah, he was just, I guess... he thought he was in a lorry, but anywho.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jamie Griffiths now then coming down the straight. He's not on an improvement, I don't think.
No,
unless he can form some kind of miracle in the last hit. I don't think he's going to get any higher than 4.
Line, and he doesn't. 1.1 seconds down on his personal best. Galloway is starting a lap as his Kyle Burns.
So is it Fashere now then?
He didn't improve in the first sector, but he could in sector 2, and no, he doesn't. Almost
3 tenths off his...
Yeah.
Olivic, meanwhile, the guys on pole, is also on a lap. As Fashere just makes his way around the final 2 turns in the Lavazza-sponsored Dams. Obviously, Fashere making his return to Dams after a few seasons away from the team, albeit without the Red Bull livery this time. But anyway...
He's not his driver anymore, but he's still here and ready to show his class, and currently he can't improve. He stays in second. Behind Marko Kalevic, who can't improve either, crossing the line a second down on his personal best. A little bit of a shocker as we got 10 minutes to go. We're looking at Rahul Patel. He'll be next to cross the line with Protsiuk and Teo behind him. There's also one of the Ardens, Oduro Kurbi. Patel doesn't improve. Protsiuk didn't, but Kurbi does. He goes 5th fastest.
Time from Dudu Kirby there.
Yeah. Adventure stays where he is, which is 8th place. Max Killen can't improve, but Thomas Bennett can. He goes 12th quickest. Pablo Quintino is up next, can get out 19th. Oh, he have to sell for that place. As here goes the Brazilian, as Dennis Graff is the only one in the pits. Tomas Pascual, he can't improve. He lost out in sector 3. Benz Wallinger finished 3rd here last year, stays where he is. Aaron Curtis, his teammate, is where he is as well. He can't improve. Neither can Joel Watterson, the man currently in 3rd. Behind Watzel, he can improve, goes all the way up into 6th place. That's a good effort from the Grand Prix man.
6th and 7th for the ARTs at the moment. Speaking of ART, here is his teammate, Tomas Anderson, who is not able to improve that. Tomaselli didn't either, but Zorbak did. He goes up to 3rd.
Great lap there.
Zorbak,
let's not forget, that's where Zorbak started in Bahrain, where he took victory. So it could be a good omen if he can hold on to 3rd. Kyle Burns might have something to say about that, though. Let's see how much he can gain. He improves, but only for 19th.
Just Quintino onto the back row of the grid. Speaking of Sauber Junior Team by Charouz, there is Quintino's teammate, Chuck McCarthy, who's not on an improvement at this point in time, as he makes his way down the straight. And I don't think he's going to improve because it's only really a straight on this sector, isn't it? As the dams behind him goes into the pits, I presume
you need to
that
get some
was.
slipstream to actually be able to improve here, and it really depends when you go out, because if you go out too close to another car, you'll be compromised in the other two sectors where lap time is still very important. So it's a very fine line to walk across, and only if you can walk across it perfectly, then you'll be able to get a brilliant slipstream and great lap time.
Yep, everybody now coming back into the pits this lap, and I think the next runs that we're going to see, I think will probably be the last runs, I believe,
Well,
judging
yeah,
from how
those
much
are the
time there
third
is.
runs.
So
Yeah.
this will be the last run, of course, because of how much time we've got left in the session as well, but also because most of them are going to be on their fourth lap anyway. So that's
Yeah,
that.
Graf and Griffiths, I think they'll be very tight on time, so I doubt they'll manage to actually go out in time for the fourth run. They'll have to sell on their third run, which will be their last. Unless I'm wrong and they manage to find enough time to get out, but it looks unlikely. The lap is one lap is almost 2 minutes. So let's say you go out now, you do the out lap, you do the flying lap, and then you do the in lap, and boom, we just have 1 minute left. So yeah, the session is pretty much over for all intents and purposes, apart from the last runs, of course.
Yeah, indeed. As the promo mechanics now are wheeling, well, both of the cars back in actually because they're both in. Well, Curtis is having to wait for Valdinger to get wheel behind so he can move. So
Of
there
course,
we are.
last season they had the same livery, but this time Curtis, uh, on one of the perks of being an Alfa Romeo test driver, gets to wear the team colors. Jamie Griffiths is going out. This will most likely be his final run. I really doubt he'll have enough time to get a last one in. He's currently in 5th place, outpacing his teammate. No, being outpaced by his teammate Zorbach. I'm a little misstep for me, but anyway, Carlin are doing really well today.
Yeah, indeed. It seems so far that Carlin might have turned their act around because let's not forget last season they had a disastrous season, it must be said, finishing last in the teams championship. So far, opposite way at the moment because they're currently at the top, but of course it's still early days. We've still got 12 races left to go. We've only had one race so far in 2019. So
yeah, and plenty can change. There are so many twists and turns. The championship is far from a foregone conclusion, let me say that much, as Dennis Graf has just gone out as well.
One thing I want to point out briefly as well, because I was supposed to mention this in the top class commentary, but I don't think I mentioned it as well. The Indy 500 sign-ups are now officially closed, and you should expect the driver lineups for that to be announced after the Monaco Grand Prix. Anybody who's put custom liveries down as their option, you have until the end of next week to submit a custom livery. If you haven't got a template, then you can kindly ask Yuri for one.
And of course, the top 5 from the previous 500, they're guaranteed a spot. And that pretty much means Will Neller, Victor Bobo, Michael Clark, and of course the champion Gabriel Gomez. I'm not sure who finished 5th, but he or she has a guaranteed spot in the 500 as well, providing he or she signed up, you know.
Yep, I'll just double check that for you actually. Who was actually the top 5? Whilst we're at it, as Griffiths is about to start his lap actually.
Yeah.
So the top 5 last season, if I just look on the list.
His last flying lap. Surely there won't be enough time for another. Got some cars exiting the pits, but none to impede Griffiths at the moment. So it's good for the Welshman.
So providing they've signed up, of course, these are the 5 who are automatically in, providing they've signed up, of course. They are Gabriel Gomez, Victor Bobo, Michael Clark, Will Neller, and Etienne Jones.
Oh yeah, that's right, Jones. I'm not sure he'd sign up though, but if he did, well, he's in the 500 for sure.
But, I know that Michael Clark did, so he'll be there, that's for sure, because he finished 3rd last season.
Yeah. It was a pretty entertaining battle for the lead between those 3. Neller tried to get involved, but the damage he collected earlier in that race pretty much ruined his chance and he had to sell for 4th. It was pretty much about the checkered flag between Gomez, Bobo, and Clark. And the Brazilian came out on top. He beat the 2 Brits.
Yep. Meanwhile, Jamie Griffiths is not up on his personal best in the first sector. He seemed like a few tenths off his personal best that time by. So at the moment, he's not looking like he's going to improve in what looks like it's going to be his final run.
Looks like he'll have to sell for his for the 3rd row.
Maximum, yes, unless other people can push him down, of course.
Well, it's definitely possible, as Griffiths will round out the 2nd sector. Can he get anything here? And the answer is no, he's half a second down. Over half a second down, I should say. Kyle Burns decided to stay in the pits. Quite a bold call. It will all depend when he goes out, of course. I'm sure he won't be happy to stay in 19th. He's got about a minute and a half to go before he has to go out. So this will be interesting.
As Griffiths now then makes his way down the pit straight. And let's see what he can do, if he's able to perform some kind of miracle in the last city, which I don't think he will, and he doesn't.
6 tenths down, he's staying in 5th, and he'll be starting no higher than that. Now Dennis Graf is 6 tenths down in the second sector as well, and looks like it won't be a good day in the office for him. He'll be starting 18th or lower, depending on what the others do. I highly doubt Dennis Graf can gain the last sector, but you never know.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see, really, if anything transpires from that. As Graf now then makes his way down the straight. Let's see what he's able to perform, and see if he's able to perform.
Now, and he doesn't improve, no surprise there. And as his session done for, Chuck McCarthy will start a lap. Meanwhile, looking at Ruslan Protsiuk, he is improving on his lap currently. Where can he go? He goes 10th. Checker flag next to his name. His session is down. Rahul Patel. Up next, the man who joined him on the podium stays where he is, down in 16th. You won't be too happy with that. The only adventure, the defending race winner, stays in 8th. He didn't improve. Stays in 11th. Anderson was in 8th. Galovich, the man on pole, stays where he is. Dudu Corby, though, goes 3rd quickest. Very good lap there from the Arden man. Gabriel Quintino up next. The other Brazilian is in 21st, stays there. And Zwalinger stays 17th. Max Killen is next to cross the line. Can he get out of 20th? Can he prevent another dismal qualifying? Here goes Skillen in the Univirtuosi. Across the line goes. Up into 12 fastest. That was pretty impressive. Fast Ray can't take pole. He stays in 2nd. Aaron Curtis could have a shot though. Let's see as he's coming across the line. Aaron Curtis goes 5th quickest.
A good lap from the Irishman.
Burns has stayed in, so his session is done. Watzel, he can't improve either. Stays where he is. Thomas Bennett, I don't think he'll improve either. No, he can't. Lorenzo Tomasé, what about him? Can he make it 2 poles in a row? No, he cannot. Stays 16th fastest. Tomas Anderson is up next. He's got Nicholas Zorbach behind him. Zorbach could benefit from a little bit of the slipstream, the championship leader. But we'll see. Tomas Anderson doesn't look like he will improve. But let's see, crossing the line. No, he doesn't improve. What's the margin? Zorbach, he doesn't improve either.
Watterson, meanwhile, currently in 6th. I don't think he's going to improve either. The Kiwi crosses the line, and no, he doesn't. But Galloway's on improvement.
Yeah, the man currently in last place. It's his last chance to get out of there, of course. McCarthy's also behind. And these guys will round up the session. Galloway goes 11th. Jumps half the field. And good improvement there for him. Now Chuck McCarthy will be the last one to complete a lap. He'll be staying where he is, which means that Marek Vukovic is on pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Fantastic stuff from Marek Vukovic in only his 2nd race in GP2, and he's on pole position. Fantastic stuff. 1-6.
Yeah, very good effort from the Bosnian.
1-6 for Rapax in this session. A very good session from the Bosnian indeed.
Yeah, Kalovic had an unfortunate day in Bahrain. He was the last of the finishers, finishing in 18th. But he'll put all that behind him and concentrate on tomorrow, because he'll be starting from the front of the pack. And he's got his first 4 GP2 points, as a matter of fact, with those bonus points, of course, for pole. And he'll be pretty happy with that.
It'll put him in... in fact, I'll double check if he goes into tied 8th or not, because I don't know if the guy who finished 8th last time out got any bonus points, so I will double check that very quickly.
Nobody got 4 points in the standings. It would put him in 9th place in front of Curtis.
9th place, yes, he will. So, finally managed to open up his points account this season, and Skillen obviously being towed back in a weird way. But anyway, it doesn't matter anyway, because the session is over.
Yeah, very much agreed. He may have qualified last in Bahrain. He's done a much better job this time around, though. He's outpaced his teammate Patel. And even though he's not in the points positions for now, Mexican will be happy to start 13th.
Yeah, and Zorbach as well. He'll also be pretty happy, I think, with 4th position on the 2nd row. Still with quite a shot of possibly trying to make it 2 in a row this week if he can.
And that adventure made it 2 wins in a row last season. He won in Azerbaijan and then he won in Spain. So could Zorbach do the same? Or, well, maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see what tomorrow brings. As McCarthy's coming in, the session will officially close.
It should go back to the menu screen very soon, because all of them are now in their garage. We've obviously got the checkered flag now out of the session, so it should hopefully transition to the menu screen quite soon as everybody gets warmed back.
And I need to ask you, Joe, who are you most impressed by this session?
Probably Fashere. I think big improvement for him in this session to get himself onto the front row, and he'll be looking to see if he can get a good result out of it tomorrow.
Corby and Kalovic have also performed very well. They've both outpaced their teammates by a considerable margin. And yeah, here we go with the qualifying results. It's Michael Kalovic in his second qualifying session takes his first ever GP2 pole. Isaac Fashere will join him on the front row. Dudu Corby is in third, in front of championship leader Nicolas Zorbach. Aaron Curtis has another good qualifying here. He's in fifth in front of Joel Watson sixth. Jamie Griffiths is seventh, and behind him is Henry Watzel. Tomas Anderson is ninth with Ruslan Protsuk rounding out the top 10. Could he charge yet again to the podium? We'll have to wait and see. Jake Galloway is in 11th, and the second half goes to you.
Daniel Adventure will start in 12th with Max Gillen in 13th, Chuck McCarthy in 14th, followed by Thomas Bennett in 15th, Thomas Pascal in 16th with Lorenzo Tomaselli, his teammate in 17th, Rahul Patel in 18th, Ben Svaldinger in 19th, Dennis Graff 20th with Carl Burns in 21st, and in 22nd and last is the 2018 BTCC champion, Gabriel Quintino.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he hasn't had a good day, but Baku can be very hectic, so there's plenty that can change tomorrow. Count anybody out.
Yep, absolutely. So it'll be very interesting to see who will actually take the victory tomorrow. Will Zorbach make it two in a row? Will Kalovic get his first win of the season? Will Fashere try and do the same? Who knows?
Or will someone else entirely rise from the ashes and claim victory? Well, we've got about 23 hours until that, and so you don't have to worry about much for now. But yeah, until next time, you already know who we've been, but we'll say it again. I've been Robert Ionescu.
I've been JW97.
Yep, that's right. And this has been the GP2 qualifying session from Azerbaijan. Until next time, see you around and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, guys.
Night.